Okay, so I actually feel like that is enough tarot. Splitting the deck is the sovereignty of air. At the end of the day, right, this is the way that I see it. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter how much washing up you've got. It doesn't matter whether you want to put eyelashes on or not today. It really does not matter. And it's one of those things, and I feel it's very personal to me because I understand it. When you suffer with things like body dysmorphia, it can, no matter what you're doing in terms of like putting in changes, making positive action, if you aren't quite there and you haven't got the confidence to do that, the way that you look at yourself is so, I found, looking back on it, it was almost like bizarre the way that I never felt like I was good enough. I never felt like I fitted in anywhere. You know, and it's those sorts of things that actually landed me in addiction. And, you know, the people around by where I live, where I grew up and I've partied with and this, that and the other, they are probably very shocked to see me and hear me say these things. Because on the surface, I was having the time of my life. When actually, deep down, I was struggling so bad. So bad. And I didn't know what to do with it. And it was all down to the one main part of it was me looking in the mirror. It collapsed my day. So I started covering all my mirrors. See how, right, something can completely and utterly control your mind, even though it's just one thought that you have that technically does not mean a thing. Do you get what I mean? And I feel like maybe you've gone through something a bit similar. It feels very, very, very familiar. Maybe this is why I needed to do this. I don't know. But I promise you that going down a bad road and, you know, partying for 4 days straight and losing your mind is not fun. And it does not answer any of your questions, or it doesn't help you. It makes things a million times worse. So, from me to you, you are perfect just the way that you are. And I will bloody well make sure that you guys see this in yourself as well. I really, really will. I won't have it with you lot. I think you're beautiful, women and men. And I think that you guys deserve success just as much as anybody else on this planet. And if I can help you and help you unravel your mind a bit, then I will. Right, now I've had that say, and I just want to point out, I'm personally in a very, very different stage of my life. This was going back a few years ago. So just before I start getting messages, I'm fine. But I went through a lot of intense therapy. I went through rehab. I did it all. I did the whole lot. And I just think it's not worth it. It's not worth what it does. It really doesn't. And you don't run away from it either. Because, you know, when you start sort of like coming down from the hype and whatever it is that you've taken and whatever it is that you've drank, you will sit there and stare at a wall and continually think about these things that are fucking you up anyway. Do you get what I mean? So I think there's one person I know that this is for. Right, anyway, the next ones, I've got them upside down. The Psychic Tarot. Fucking love these. These are absolutely brilliant. Again, if you are starting out and you want a decent oracle that can really sort of, you can really get into, it's these. I've waited a long time for them. Right, I can see what's going on now, okay? So, first off, suffering in silence. Then, heartache and loss. I just want to show you these because I think that the imagery on them are, I don't know, I just think they're really cool, quite old school. Right, then it was stand your ground, which is basically what you're doing now. You know, you've accepted that you're going through something, right? But this is what it's doing. It's activating you. And I know it sounds backwards and it's almost cruel, and I have no answers as to why it works like this, but sometimes this leads to activation. You know, I'm not saying that positive things can't, because it can, but I think that when it comes to really deep, I'm going to say mental health, okay? I'm going to say we've all suffered with it to some degree, or we all will, all right? I don't think anybody manages to bypass it. But this is, and I had a feeling, I don't know, it was like I could feel my, you know where your heart is? I could feel it going really tight. And I, you know, you do put that down to sort of like suffering in silence, because you end up like harboring it. It's so, I don't talk about it very often, that's the thing. So I haven't quite got the exact words to describe my perspective on it. But one thing it is leading to is triumph. And at the bottom of the deck, prosperity begins. I love this. It's like hand in hand with the universe, you know. It's not even taking the apples, it's growing the whole tree. Do you get what I mean by that? And I think that, you know, the worst things that happen to us in life are our biggest triumphs. You know, it's our ability to say, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I can't do this to myself or anybody else any longer. I need to sort it out. And, you know, this is where it leads to. So art, and underneath is light. And see, triumph, success. This is what I'm saying. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm here to give you some sort of harmony today. Sorry, my son keeps coming to get me to show me ants. And as, you know, as fascinating as they are, I was like, I'm in the middle of bloody well saving people's mentalities. Right. So I said to my spirit guide, I said, okay then, give us something to hold on to that could sort of give us that motivation to move and to go, you know. It's like having that quick switch in your mind. Right, so I want to show you in, right, the first one, recognition and reward. So whatever it is that you end up doing, and you know, whatever it is that you're suffering now, you can use that as a superpower to help other people. You know, as much as we are born alone, and I guess we pass alone, and everything else, we thrive, is probably the right word, on connections. And, you know, if you can get through something and then successfully help somebody else to stop them going down that road, or to help them come away from it, bloody well do it. Then the universe came out. So you will be rewarded. It's like, you know, it's almost like I could feel someone's spirit team like, go, 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 go. Do you know what I mean? Right, anyway. The next one was patience and planning. Have more patience with yourself, please. Because if you don't and you rush through things, it all falls apart. You know, this is something for you to concentrate on over a long period of time, you know. Then with sacrifices and partnership. Now, I've had to do a lot of this myself, and it's not the nicest thing to do, you know, and sometimes it's not even like there's a solid reason. It's just that you know something's off with someone. Yeah. You will find that when you sacrifice the right alliances, you will then find you will come across in the weirdest situations. Honestly, I promise you that. And then at the bottom of the deck, you've got accelerated motion, oh my God, and positive movement forward. Fabulous. Bloody fabulous. Right, I'll go to the next part and I'll do some oracle.